Probably, it's not high on the list of things you want to do, getting off a trans-Pacific flight to immediately go to work, where that's a rough situation to be in. Immortals definitely looked a lot better on day number 2 after, surprisingly, Hex, getting sleep lets you do better at your job.
Surprising, yeah. I've learned that over the course of time. Man, I can barely call an Uber once I get off of a transatlantic flight. I just push me towards my house and hope that I get there. It's essentially what happens. Hollywood, it's no surprise, actually, that since Immortals is the home team they picked, this is their best hybrid map by far. By a rather large margin, this is the one that they would go to and pick. There's the old Pioneer Hotel as we take a glimpse at Westworlds and the ladder of the county jail. I wish you could climb that ladder. Too many times there's a widow sitting up there in my games and just poking away and I can't do anything about it.
I mean, it's very possible that the ladder was put there by a designer that liked playing Widow and just had the idea of going, they're going to think they can climb this ladder and all they will get are tears. Tears.
Yeah, there have been tears against some Widows in my games early on. Do you see anything out of the ordinary from either of his teams as far as rosters go? Of course, Yikes is messing around a little bit as they're in their own spawn, but defensively, we're set out here.
Defensively, this is about what you can expect coming out here from Immortals nowadays. They are going with a dive-year defense here where it's going to be up to Grim to really lay in the pressure from the Cafe. Meanwhile, for the offense, now we're going to see their true form to some extent, and again, it's just going to be more of the dive we see here, but will be a dive backed up by space on that Diva.
Yeah, no triple DPS, but pure dives coming out from both of them. What is this? Okay, Ginger Pop's actually going to run this 76 here. They're going to go solo support. Very interesting. This is something we have not seen from Ginger Pop, and he can play the good Ana. Maybe that translates, but interesting triple DPS dive coming out here.
Yeah, so Ginger Pop now showing that he's not just a mere support. He's going to be moving in here with this offense, but it's a trade out here early on. The defense, for now, holding strong, and they deal with the support, somewhat light offense relatively effectively. Yikes dove in, and they just got very little.
You know what you can't have happen when you run a solo support? Your Lucio can't die first.
Yeah.
Dahoon died immediately in that fight. When you're running solo support like that, that cannot happen. They're going to stick on it. That is a nice, early on kill from Ginger Pop to start this out. They're going to have the advantage momentarily.
I imagine Dahoon feels more pressure to be in the fray of things. Lucio doesn't have the range on his heal that he once had, so if he actually wants to provide healing, he has to expose himself to that risk. Either way, Yikes. Not a lot of chill in this offense. They're immediately diving in, but they find Fate immediately. They get into the Cafe. They get that first kill. Now Ginger Pop, let's see what he can do in the 76 here in the backline. Sightlines to the Cafe. And Yikes for now, trying to establish as they hold on to the point. They get a tick. And Immortals is actually struggling to deal with this now.
It was that early, or late rather, kill from Ginger Pop that enabled all of this, enabled them to get in because that was on Hyped, and that was the Diva out of the mix. That opens up so much damage potential. They are going to come back on and stagger a little bit. Got to start seeing some kills. Fate's going to open it up. Dahoon down again, so if they can just sustain in this fight, it will eventually tip over because, again, that's their only support.
What this has done is that this has put a rather big target on Dahoon's back here, where if you kill Dahoon, all the sustain is gone. That is the Achilles heel of this composition that Yikes is trying to run here, so kill Dahoon, win the fight. As you see Immortals right now just buying a little bit of space towards the end of that with Fate.
The next fight's going to be their best one by far. It should. They should be able to sound barrier in there. You're going to have Blade. Ginger Pop does finally rotate over. It causes a couple of changes. Za is going to go onto the 76 instead. They have a second healer now. Ginger Pop will go to the Zenyatta.
Well, the interesting stuff is that with the exception of the Dragon Blade, this is relatively even. Immortals won't have a Blade, but they will have a barrier into this fight and a self-destruct. If Hype can land a really good self-destructive defense, he can pull this one right back, regardless of what the Blade does. But Yikes, they're committing right here, right now. The barrier is out, and they already strike blood before the counter barrier is in. This is a much better engage here from Yikes. The self-destruct from Hype doesn't really do much. And yeah, Immortals still delaying a little bit here, though. This is looking much more Yikes' favor.
Yeah, a lot of cleave comes in there. They still are going to put some bodies on the point. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull this one back. It's going to require a miracle. Grim will take out Ginger Pop on his own 76s. I should have known, actually, where Grim was. A mile away from his team on an enormous flank. It's one of my issues with his 76. He did get a kill, but not much after that. And because of that, they're not going to be able to take early up high ground. They're going to take the slow ride up as Yikes and get their own soldier on high ground.
That is one tough thing about First Point Hollywood. If you're going to lose it, Ginger Pop. Okay, so when we go into this, we mentioned Ginger Pop is such a good support. He's like, actually, I'm not going to play support. I'm going to play Widow. I empathize with this man. I've been in that position so many times. I
think someone called him a mercy main one too many times, and he is just out to prove them wrong. Kareem will take down Za early, which is a nice kill for them to take the 76 out of the fight. See what agilities can get done on the Tracer here. He's got Pulse Bomb loaded and ready. Finds Ginger Pop. Ginger Pop looking like a Jiffy Pop right there, exploding into the sky. Hyped and Agilities get a couple, and this should be a defensive hold. Who's still trying to get a little push in here. He's got his own help out, but yeah, that should seal it up.
I just wonder if it was really needed there. I mean, you had a fleeing D.Va and Lucio. I understand just a little bit of pent-up anger there, but I'm not sure that really needed to be used.
Widow's a pretty easy target for that stick. Grapple was already in effect, and there goes Pop. And he's going to switch back over to the Zenyatta. So
okay.
I think the thing is, if you don't want him to switch to another healer, then just don't kill him on the DPS, because he's switched to it a couple times when they killed him in the DPS.
Well, in any case, Ginger Pop going back to his bread and butter here, getting on a main support hero as Yikes moves him once more. But the sound barrier a little bit late. Pizza is going to fall here early on, and the coordination coming in from Yikes a little bit lacking, especially on that last engage. I mean, if the barrier comes in right as someone's dying, you're not really going to get much from it, because then it's a 5v6 barrier, and Immortals just rather easily countering there.
Fate has been running wild. He's getting so much damage in there. He plays on the Razor's Edge like so many other Korean tanks and Korean Winstons specifically, as he's going to come back up over the top, and he got so much damage there, and then Pop Primal Rage, not as a huge disruption ultimate, but just to keep himself alive and get some more kills. He's been playing very well, a great addition for this team so far.
Pulse coming out of his agility. He's the rare Tracer on Tracer Pulse Bomb stick. Dante, not the rewind, able to get out of that one, and hey, a pickoff is a pickoff, whether it be on Tracer or someone in the back line. This is still going to delay Yikes, as they're quickly running out of time here, X. A minute 20 is not much for the middle of Second Point Hollywood.
No, it's going to be very difficult. And probably their last push on Second Point, because first push took so long. It's not something that we're used to seeing. The team struggles so hard in this phase. They think about trying to get Za over the top. They think better of it as they're getting pressured down by the tank play.
They're really split up here. I don't think it was their intention to go into the saloon on the left. Dante going to be getting the special from Grim Reality, and now both teams getting into it here in the payload. The Transcendence comes out for Immortals as they look to put this one away. Yikes, they're really poked down here, Hex. You take a look at Dahoon and XQC, they had to back out, and they concede a lot of space to Immortals in this fight, as Immortals still feeling pretty good here in the back. I mean, most of their players are good at health right now, and though Yikes is now starting to regroup, this has been messy.
The sound barrier is going to come in and actually save Crew's life, and it pushes away XQC, who had his designs on taking out the Zenyatta. Beautiful save. He even propped Primal Rage to get back there and do so, and it does not work out for them. Sound barrier comes in at the last hour for Yikes.
It just feels like Yikes is just throwing the ultimates in as soon as they get them. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason here. Immortals now, they're going to counter with the Transcendence, come right back in, and they get the key kill on the Ginger Pop, and self-destruct doesn't land as Immortals just, again, casually rolling back in as time fading here, Hex. The last 2 seconds. Yikes. At this point, that's gonna be it.
Agility's had a better Tracer than Dante. Dante was one of my heroes that I wanted to watch early, because we mentioned so much yesterday about, regardless of the region, it's Tracer's world, and we're just living in it right now. You have to have top-tier Tracer play. Agility switching over to it, I thought it was a good play for them, because I think, you know, Grim is not at Agility's level, even on Tracer there. Grim's probably a better choice to put on the 76, where you can just get the consistent damage and things like that. So Dante, the Tracer v Tracer, was definitely going Agility's way. I mean, Dante got stuck by a pulse bomb.
You don't see that very often. I mean, feel like if there was a list, Hex, of things that bad day as a Tracer,
right.
Other Tracer sticks pulse bomb. It's like, yep, that is definitely top 5.
How'd my car get in Hollywood?
I never knew, Hex. I never knew.
I mean, I don't like to brag. Aside for that license plate.
This explains a lot, actually.
Vanity plates say a lot about people. Interesting stuff there. Yikes, experimenting like that was confusing to me. I don't really get why they would put Ginger Pop on the triple DPS, the single supports. Maybe it's something they've been running a lot lately. Just seems like an unnecessary gamble.
Well, in terms of like extra confusion here, take a look at what they're running in the defense. We have seen them run Fair Mercy really well on defense before, but in a map like Hollywood, where you have a lot of room for a fair of the maneuver, especially in second, they didn't even try this once.
Yeah, and it's so good to come up over the top and you get the concussion into the cafe, scatter those chairs, and then I guess if there's people up there, they get scattered too. So it's interesting, to say the least, about Yikes. Yikes is a team they're actually kind of hard to predict, because they used to be, this was their bread and butter. This is how they made their name, this is how they came up. And then they showed a surprising amount of versatility the last couple times we saw them, not running the pharmacy combo, but when their backs are against the wall, this is what they run. And I think it's smart, because Immortals, yeah, they have a new team now. They've consistently struggled to deal with the sky threat that is a combo of pharmacy.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Also, Immortals, there was a time where they really struggled on second point Hollywood, period, where they just got... Their engagements were not particularly clean, although
Right.
I do think that with the upgrades they've made in recent times, I do expect that to be changing. In any case, now, we will be taking a look at the defense of Yikes here as Za in the back line will be laying in the rockets to both interrupt the offense as they come in and potentially deep dive once they do get in.
Karif's got to be careful. Grim also eats a boosted rocket, so all the entry damage will be negated, will get healed up eventually. They know what the threat is now. Does not hit that shot onto the leaping. Winston's a shot that you probably should be hitting as a Pharah, even though it's an air shot. Winston's enormous.
And Yikes right now, they're just bending back on their defense. They're not really challenging Immortals too much. They're leaving Za with plenty of room to lay in rockets. And you have to think, X, that they're going to be diving in a little bit deeper as soon as they know that one good rocket is landed and XQC is in position to punish that. But both teams actually showing each other a lot of respect right now.
Yeah, pulling very far behind the building is actually really smart. That's where you see a lot of defensive Pharahs go because it's difficult to get the correct angle you need to deal with it. You need your Zen to orbit, and then you need your 76 to come around and get the finish damage. They've been trying to pressure it with their own tank. Transcend comes in, and Grim starts it off with a kill.
And once a Transcend comes in, Immortals, they just rush the point immediately. This fight will be in, but look at Ginger Pop. He has a Resurrection up here, so he can bring XQC back up to the fray, and he's going to do that right here. So that's the problem with Yikes. If you don't take down Ginger Pop early, he can't get that res, and yet Immortals, they're not really phased here. Agility's in favor, able to get to the back line, get the kills they were looking for. Ginger Pop is out, and they will win this fight rather convincingly.
The problem is they rezzed XQC there because he went down, but a split second later, Za went down afterwards, which is what this composition is generally built around. Dante will reward Grim's first entry kill with a pulse bomb of his own, able to get that stick onto him. One of the best ways to actually kill a soldier as a tracer because he's got biofield and all
It's
that.
right. Yikes hasn't given this up here just yet. They are getting back in with these slimmest of margins, but with Ginger Pop and Za back into this fight, there is potential they bring this back. Now, they're going to have to deal with the blade from Agility's. Agility's just trying to clear out space in the point and being pretty effective at doing that as well. 4 kills here from Immortals, and it does look like this will be the time where they take the point. And this is rough here for Yikes, because remember, they have to defend right before second. They didn't complete the map, they didn't even get to third, so they don't really have margin for error here, as Immortals Hex has 4 minutes left to bring this to about second.
One of the problems with running a combo is if you kill half of it, you've essentially killed all of it. And yes, Mercy can still be there, but one of the things that makes Mercy powerful is having a sky escape. And when you take that away by taking down the Pharah, she's on the ground, very easy to kill. So you saw that happen there. The Ginger Pop went down, then Za died immediately after.
And that's really tough for Yikes here. Dante was going to backline and catches the wrong end of balls from Zenyatta there, immediately getting removed from the fight. And now it puts a lot more pressure on Za to come back in and right the wrongs here, so to speak. But look at Karif, another Transcendence out. This man is always in the Iris Hex.
Yeah, he's got a lot of faith and it has been rewarded. A nice barrage does come down though, and now Hyped is out of the mix, so that should open things up for the hit scan, but it still is. Grieve and Grim going back and forth on the cart. Sahun finally takes him out. Agilities with the reset comes back through onto this as well, and at the very least, they're getting stalled out here, but eventually comes back in. I think the most important thing for next fight, and this is pretty easy, pretty analysis 101, the resurrection has to come through.
Right, and there's a lot of cases where we go, well, a lot of times the Mercy will die before the res. Doesn't really happen too often with Ginger Pop, where he has learned the secrets of Mercy and mortality. Now that I've said that, watch him die first, because that is how caster cursing tends to work out, but this is going to be a very tough fight here for Yikes, where they really do need a massive res. And there it is! He died first! Cut down mid-air by Agilities. No immortality. That is reserved for Immortals as they just walk through this team fight with pretty much ease.
I can't believe you've done this.
Maybe I just wanted Ginger Pop to die. I wanted his death Hex. That's what I want.
I suppose they are going to come on and now give everything they have on it just to try to stall out. Remember, they don't even have to get it to the second point here. Yellow Box victory on the ground. But the stall has come out so great that he's able to resurrect both of his tanks.
Yeah, this is the last ditch effort here from Yikes trying to get back into the fight, but when you throw your bodies onto the point, you're able to get the res later on. Sure, Ginger Pop might be out of it now, but at the very least have given some pause for the Immortals as Karif has another Transcendence up. This man, he is devout.
Yeah, he definitely believes in, I'm not even certain what the Omnic religion is called, but I always knew there was something special about him because he doesn't even have to walk, just floats. So but you can't be setting up how much damage that he's getting done to have these transcends up, and they will prioritize him. He hits a pulse bomb early, and now both of the new additions for Immortals out of this.
one thing that's worth noting is that even though Immortals has been picking up more kills here, this has been very effective stall here from Yikes. Gillfrost trying to put an end to it. Finally, the blade coming out and picking up 2, and yet you still have Yikes coming out of the spawn door. This payload actually has moved very little in the last few minutes, and even Agility's right now getting pushed out. So Yikes, I feel like they're pulling a con us where it looks like they're losing to some extent, and yet they're a minute away from actually holding.
I will give Dante all the credit in the world, as I called him out after the last half of the map. He has had a game of his life right now. He's going after all sorts of people, but 2 quick kills from Immortals might just end this. Resurrected, bring it back to full strength.
Just when you think you've broken Yikes, the Resurrection comes out and the barrier out to support it. Beta 1 combos in action as getting a lot done here at the top. He loses his support in Ginger Pop, but still under pressure. Finally going to fall, and is this going to be time as Kareem is transcending again? How does he get transcended so quickly? This is, I don't even know, but finally Immortals does punch it through after a spirited delay by Yikes, I feel like. It would have been good if they actually got through second.
Sorry for the giggle in the middle of that. I was mocking you for having the humor of a 12-year-old before we came on cast, and apparently I also have the humor of a 12-year-old, as, you know, words make me giggle. Like giggle.
I've really never grown up, despite how it might look, you know, I'm still watch Saturday morning cartoons on occasion.
I think that's the case for a majority of people on this planet. You age only in body, not in soul. Grim Reality Will gets the play of the game here. Nice tracking right there. Able to take down Ginger from a distance and then takes on the other part of the combo. Grim can play a good 76, and he's the embodiment of my issue with 76 is just stay alive, just put in the little bit of damage. No one's asking you to be a hero, despite what some of 76's voice lines say. Just stay alive, do the damage.
No, and you can't argue with his tracking. He has good tracking, in a good hit scan. My big thing with him is sometimes his positioning and maybe some of his ult usage is where I would question him the most. But, I mean, in that instance, he was able to actually get Farah and Mercy a couple of times there at the end. But I want to talk about D.Va a little bit, because we saw both Space and, oh my goodness, Hyped playing D.Va. Goodness gracious. Yeah, it's the first match of the day, and I'm already doing this. And we saw a little bit of a mix of both. Both of them tend to be protecting their back lines. But do you have any thoughts on how these D.Vas were used?
Well, as far as the D.Va play going in, I mean, you saw both teams using the D.Va to protect the backline. That's something that Hyped actually has had to adapt to more, because you think about early Hyped on D.Va, he was very much good at isolating threats, but he's had to adapt to some degree, Hex, to the new era of D.Vas, where it's like, actually, if you just want to hold back and protect a little bit more, that would be great.
It's about, because teams have figured out how to catch a dive. They've also figured out how to catch a D.Va. So the days of D.Va bullying are over, where she can just go in and isolate someone, because the rest of the team's like, you're just going to give this to us? We're just going to get this kill for free now, and then they'll take it, and then you